Hello everyone, I'm Dawid Pośliński and today I will show you behind the scenes of mature Ember.js projects, how we deal with long-term projects with the team. This is the frame from a classic movie from 70s, Alien movie by Ridley Scott. And it tells the story about the Nostromo ship and its crew. In my story, mature project is represented by the ship of Nostromo, and here's the agenda of my presentation, where we will talk about potential enemies that can appear on the ship. Also, we will see how we can prevent those enemies, how we can kill them. And at the end, we will try to find the Holy Grail, which will basically save the ship. Okay, first enemy that can pop up on the ship is the chaos, decision chaos. And we can beat it with the good leadership, but to have a good leadership, we have to establish one person who will make decisions on the ship as soon as possible. And in case of product development, it's usually product owner. So always make sure that you have only single person of contact on product owner team to avoid situations where two stakeholders have different opinion on stuff and you are not sure what you should do exactly. So ask your customer to pick one guy who you will always contact to. In Alien movie, at the beginning, Ripley is waking up, and one of her roles is to wake up the whole ship, basically. In that case, our enemy on the ship is wasting energy on things that ship can do for us. It can be automated, things that can be automated. So what ship, or in our case project, can do for us? First of all, you should automate whatever you can, so like some stuff like system checks. Don't spend time on things that can be automated. Set up CI environment with tests, with deploys, with linters, as well as establish some templates for pull requests, so you don't have to do repeated stuff all the time and waste your time on that, which you can spend on something more productive. The other enemy that can pop up on the ship is basically broken ship, and what leads ship to be broken are basically issues that can pop up. And first thing you should do, check the current state of the ship. So make sure that you know the current problems, issues, what works, what doesn't work, and set proper priorities to make sure that you handle the most critical issues first. And basically we can call that have a repair plan for your ship. It would be nice if you have even long-term strategy for that, with some upgrades and what can be improved even, because some stuff can work well, but maybe there are better ways to do it. So be prepared for upgrades as well. On the ship, you should know your crew very well, especially that it is pretty limited. And you should especially focus on rookies in your team, because they can do some damage on the ship. So prepare the proper training drill. Basically, before battle, you need to establish best practices for your team. And in terms of Ember, it's pretty simple because we have some guidelines already on place. Another important part of the maintaining project is have a ship protocol. So in our case, that will be, for instance, licensing. Make sure that our dependencies have proper licensing, which don't harm wasteland industry licenses policy. So you won't get into the trouble in terms of legal department anyhow. It's pretty easy to harm that in open source world, so make sure that you check it well. You can even automate that process with the proper package, as Jen Weber said. So basically just automate it and you are ready to go. When you're on the ship, especially in space, probably you are already know that there are unknown creatures around, unknown worlds, which you shouldn't be afraid. You should just have to be prepared. In terms of our projects, don't ever say you know enough or it can be done better. There is always something more that you can achieve. So experiment in safe environment if it's possible, or at least reduce the risk of potential breaks, like staging environment. Experiment with new Ember features, new browser capabilities that can improve your app and amaze your users. You should always have a backup plan on the ship. It's like a ship log where you store your documentation, because ship is quite complex to operate. Ship guides should always be updated, so make sure that every important stuff is documented there, and that can prepare you for the worst scenario. For instance, if someone who's responsible for the part of the ship maintenance is dead, then you can always take a look at the documentation and find a way to do it by yourself. So document your work well. Try not to have one guy for a single responsibility, because if he dies, then probably you are screwed. So always make sure that bus factor is higher than 1. In that case, if someone leave your crew for some reason, for instance death, you don't have to be scared. You just have to ask the other guy to take his responsibilities. Okay, so more or less we are prepared for the final battle, and we can pick the final weapon on the stage. Okay, so what is an ultimate LTS weapon? Da-da-da-da. Testing, yeah. With proper testing, we could handle multiple things automatically, especially for long-term projects. I can't imagine having a lot of tests on place, which can allow us to refactor our code or project safely, which means rebuild the ship, which can document our ship, how it works, which is like a passage map for the ship, what's where on the ship, what is where. Also, it can check acceptance criteria, that we met them or not, if any change appear. We can upgrade safer because we have some tests on place, so yeah, basically it's much safer to do it. We can also do multiple browser checks easily, test the whole app delivery flow. We can automatically check licensing as well as practices check. Yeah, and remember that tests don't prevent you from every possible failure. So they are like a bulletproof vest. It can help you to survive the battle, but you are still immortal. But you are not immortal. And at the end, I always wanted to have such a slide. One more thing. Now I have it. And I have something to present you, which is something that I was working on for some weeks, which are the Ember testing guides. And I will just present you what's there. Yeah, basically, together with the team, I prepared some testing guides where you can take a look at most subjects that can be covered in Ember testing world. It will be updated and extended in the future, but from now on you will have a single place where you can take a look at on every, hopefully, potentially possible case that you could test. There will be more examples even in the future. So it will be like a testing cheat sheets for Ember projects. Yeah, I hope you like it. That's it from my side. Thank you.